everyone, Mary here with another weekly workout. I'll put the details of this in the description below so that you have that and don't have to write this down as I go. And I'll go ahead and get started with the warm-up. I hope you're having a really great day, by the way. So for the warm-up today, we're going to do 30 seconds for each movement, 2 rounds through. We're starting with single arm circles. And so for 15 seconds, you're going to come forward with one arm and then switch after 15 seconds and go back. So it'll be a total of 30 seconds on one side. Then when that is up, then going 15 forward on the other arm and switching 15 back on the other arm. After the single arm circles, you're going to do a squat to a forward fold. So we'll stand in a little bit, it's about a shoulder width distance from my feet. I'm going to come to the side because it's easier to see the movement that way. And you'll come down into a squat and then lift your hips up, drop your head into a forward fold, and just alternating between the squat and the forward fold. When you're in that forward fold, be mindful to let your head hang heavy and take some of that pressure off your neck and your shoulders. So you'll just do that movement, the squat to a forward fold for 30 seconds, and then move into an inchworm. And so I've got my feet about hip width distance apart here, just kind of, for me, it's a natural stance. And I'm going to keep my back nice and straight, shoulders rolled back, engage my core, hinge forward at my hips, walk out into a plank, and then walk my hands back to standing, just alternating, coming out, keeping the core engaged, and coming back to standing. Moving through that movement for 30 seconds, and then side to side squats. So we've got a nice wide leg base here, toes pointed forward, and we're just coming from one side to the other, feeling the stretch on the inner thigh, alternating left to right for 30 seconds in the side to side squat. After that, you can stand with your feet however you'd like in this. I don't really have much of a recommendation, just whatever feels comfortable and right to you. These are called torso twists. I love them. I think they feel really great. What I like to do is hinge over at my hips, keeping my back nice and flat, and just, all right, I got a little bend in my knees. If you wanted to, you could come in an angle. And then if you're really wanting to open up torso from all the way around front to back, you can do a full-on standing torso twist for 30 seconds, and then you'll finish the warm-up with 30 seconds of running in place. So just run in place for 30 seconds. You'll do the whole thing 2 times through, 30 seconds for each movement, taking care to do 30 seconds of the single arm circles on the right arm, 30 seconds on the left. Once you're all warmed up, you feel ready to go, you'll hop into the strength portion, which is an AMRAP today, which means as many rounds as possible. I've got it planned for 9 minutes. You can play with that. You can drop it down to 6 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever, if you'd like. And we have 4 exercises, 9 reps for each. So we're going to start with plank shoulder taps. It's going to be 9 repetitions each arm, which would be a total of 18 count, depending on how you count your reps out. So you're just going to be in a nice plank position, hands on the floor for this one, making sure that your hips aren't dropping down toward the floor or hiked up in the air. We want a nice flat back. And then what you're doing with your hands is alternating, tapping your shoulders. So I'm tapping right to left, left to right. You can drop your knees to the floor for this, if you wanted to do them with your knees down on the floor, holding that full-on plank causes any pain or discomfort, or you just don't feel like you're there yet. You can also, the wider your stance is with your feet, the less your hips are gonna move around, and we don't want our hips falling over to the side. We don't want our hips moving a lot in this movement. So if you find that as you do this that you're dropping your hips in a really big way, move your feet further apart, okay? Your hips will move a little bit, but we don't want them moving a whole lot. So you do 9 repetitions, each shoulder of plank shoulder taps, and then stand up into a squat position. So we've got about a shoulder width distance apart for our feet, and it's 9 pulse squats. So you just drop into your squat, and you're gonna stay low the whole time. You don't have to stand all the way up in this. And we're just gonna do little mini squats, little pulses. So 9 pulses. After that, you'll stand up, come back down to the floor. I have my foam roller here for this next one. It's a plank high taps, and so we're tapping up high. You can use the seat of a chair, a step stool, a box, a block, coffee table, anything. You can have a high target if you'd like, or you can have it really down low, whatever works for you. I'm just going to use my foam roller here. And again, we're going to be in a plank position, and the distance that I want that object away from me is that I have to reach out and touch it, okay? So if I can touch it with my fingertips, it's good. If I'm bent here, then I want to move it out. All right, so what we're doing is we're just alternating, tapping up. 9 taps each arm. If you wanted to, you could do all 9 on one side and switch and do all 9 on the other. Again, like we did with the plank shoulder taps, if you'd like, you can put your knees on the floor instead of holding that full-on plank, just whatever works for you. And the last movement of the strength portion for today's workout is a sumo squat. So we want our legs out wide, careful not to fall, and you're going to point your toes out to the sides. So in a squat, we point our toes forward. For the sumo squat, we're pointing them out because we're working, the strength is primarily coming through from our inner thighs on this movement. So nice wide legs, toes pointed out to the side, and you're going to squat down and press back up. I feel like I was a little bit too wide on that one. Come down and up, making sure we're keeping our knees pointed out, toes pointed out, and just 9 repetitions of that sumo squat. Your range of motion in your hips might be different, which is totally okay. If you're not getting your hips into that 90-degree angle, no worries. If you finish your squat here or here, that's okay. Go to your degree, and then just know over time that the more you work on it, the more you'll start to open up your hips and move further into that squat. So don't get hung up on the depth of things. If your body is not ready for that, it's totally okay. So those are the 4 movements for the strength circuit. Again, it's 9 repetitions of each. I've got it programmed as a 9-minute, as many rounds as possible, or AMRAP. But again, if the 9 feels to you like, oh, maybe not today, no worries. Drop that time, play with the numbers as much as you like. After you finish the strength portion, we've got the cardio circuit. And today we have 2 movements, 4 rounds through, 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. So the first one is called a Wacky Jack. I learned of this recently. I think they're kind of fun, but they can be, I get a little confused doing them sometimes, so be patient with yourself and have fun. You know, be willing to laugh at yourself about these. So what a Wacky Jack looks like is you raise your hands up over your head, both of them, and you lean to one side, so I'm leaning toward the right, and I got my right foot off the floor, and I'm just switching, kicking legs out, dropping my body over toward the foot that's off the floor. All right. So you're getting a little bit of a cardio movement here, as well as oblique workout, especially if you're engaging your core for that. So you do 20 seconds of Wacky Jacks and then 20 seconds of skaters. So skaters, you're just coming back into like a cross lunge, but you're going quick, right? So we're hopping side to side. If you wanted to walk it and just step from side to side, you can totally do that. I'm tapping my back foot on the floor, but you can also keep it up off if you're working on stability, balance, that type of thing for the skaters. So it's 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest, 4 times through, total of 4 minutes. If you wanted to mess with that work to rest ratio, please pick what works best for you. And when you finish with the cardio, then you will finish up the whole workout with core. So it's 2 to 3 rounds. You pick. We've got 3 different movements. We've got 8 each leg of leg climbs, 4 Starfish Sit-ups, and 8 Superman swims. So leg climbs are new. The way that we do these are we lay back. I'm actually going to come back here so you can see everything. So we're going to lay back. Got my feet flat on the floor, and I'm going to extend my right leg up toward the ceiling, and then I just climb that leg and touch my toe. Okay, so climbing it, touching the toe. If you wanted to challenge yourself a little bit, don't grab your leg at all, do no touches, and you're just sitting straight up, reaching toward that toe. You'll do 8 on the right leg, 8 on the left leg. If you're doing these and you're struggling and it's just not feeling like your thing, one way to make it a little less challenging, it's still going to be difficult, but a little bit less so, is instead of putting your feet flat on the floor, extend them out all the way and then lift one leg up and climb that leg that way. All right, so the closer that resting leg is to your body, the more challenging it's going to be. So if you were struggling or you're new to this movement, and still, working on developing some good core strength, you can extend that one leg out toward to the floor. After you do your 8 each leg of the leg climbs, you'll do 4 Starfish Sit-ups. So you're going to have a nice wide leg position here. We're going to lay back. Now 1 rep looks like this. You sit up to the side, come to the center, come over to the other side, and that's 1 rep. So you go side, center, side, and that's a full rep. Once you've done your 4 Starfish Sit-ups, you'll flip over onto your belly for the last workout of today, which is a Superman swim, and you're gonna have your legs and feet together, lift it up off the floor, extend your arms out, start with your forehead resting on the floor, and you're gonna lift your chest up and pull your arms back. That's 1 and 2. All right, so you're keeping your feet up off the floor, and you are lifting and lowering your chest, chin and forehead up off the floor, and pulling those arms back as you come up. 8 repetitions of the Superman swim, 2 to 3 rounds through for the core, and then you're finished. I hope you have a great workout and a really great day, a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Take it easy.